Where are we on opengov?
That's on the agenda for tomorrow night.
And what's the position of the Board of Selectmen? Because I know you've had conversations
I
about
have
it.
a conversation. In my opinion, the Board of Selectmen will not approve it.
Why?
The $65,000
No, it's
contract?
$15,000.
No, it is not.
They sent a revised contract. We got the email that says they'll do a one-year contract.
They said, if I remember correctly, they said they can do a one-year contract.
For $15,000.
But right now, the $65,000 is on the agenda.
Okay, so I believe the email I got was dated over a week and a half ago that he would do a $15,000 one-year contract.
And both of those are on the agenda.
Okay, and neither one of those is going to go?
I know the 65 is not going to go.
How about the 15?
That I have not discussed that with the board.
How do you feel about it?
Anybody.
How do
I feel about
the
it?
15,000?
I feel it's in the reduction of spending.
Okay, even though we had a lot of discussions and we think it's important for us to do our job.
We had money allocated for it.
The issue is we got 177,000, $1,770,000 reduction in our revenue. It's got to come from everybody. That's my opinion. My opinion is I'm not in favor of it. The Board of Education is not in favor. They are not going to use that product. Karen told me that. She has no plans in using opengov.
We're not going to use a language lab, but they went ahead and did that anyways, right? 1,542 citizens supported the transparency software. And, I think we're not carrying out the will of the people if we're not going through with this. Transparency, whether we like it or not, is a concern.
Let me say something.
Sure.
Transparency. You take the town's budget. It is 100% transparency. Every line item, every dime, everything is in there. The Board of Education is not going to use this product.
What does that mean?
But the Board of Finance will.
Yeah.
What does it mean the Board of Ed's not going to use it?
They're not going to require Maggie to use it. They don't want it.
Well, that wasn't.
They were never part of the discussion.
That wasn't the purpose of it.
It's in our budget.
It's just downloading it.
It's not in your budget. It's in my budget. It's in the Board of Selectmen's budget. The Board of Finance technically does not have a budget.
I thought I saw it in the boards and commissions budget.
I believe it was a line item under.
Boards and commissions.
Yes.
15,000 opengov. So I understand that that's your budget.
Pardon?
I understand that it all falls under your budget.
Correct.
But the Board of Finance has expressed in the past, and I think what I'm hearing is currently, we really want that to help us do our job.
With that.
And it's funded.
I'm not disagreeing with what you want. I 100% understand that. But you don't understand the position that I'm being put in, and the Board of Selectmen are being put in, and the Board of Education, and the taxpayers are being put in.
Well, in fairness, we don't understand it because no one's come to us and explained anything.
Explain what the position is? You all knew that it was 170.
No. Come to us and said, here's what my proposed cuts are, here's what's going on, here's what my thoughts are, and asked our advice. So you can't say we're not aware.
I'm here tonight telling you that.
Some people might even say that's a lack of transparency itself.
Well,
I gotta say,
I'm sorry. I'm going by the letter of the law, and that's what I'm going to do.
What about using fund balance for the transparency software?
No, I'm totally against using fund balance. We have a bond coming up for the school. The bond is, and using fund balance in past years have dropped our bond rating. When you drop a bond rating, it costs you more money to borrow, and in the long run, you're going to pay more.
But I want to be clear. It's in the budget now.
What is?
The 15,000 to afford the software.
Well, we're talking about two different things.
No, we're talking about, at least I'm talking about, 15,000 is in the budget to spend on the software that was approved by the voters.
Absolutely.
The budget was passed by the voters.
Yes.
Correct. And the 15,000 is in the budget.
Yes.
The whole budget was passed by the voters.
Okay. So if the transparency software is cut, it's by the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Selectmen alone.
Correct.
Okay.
Everything that's being not cut. We're not cutting anything.
Reduction in spending, however
Reduction
you
in
choose to
spending.
phrase it.
There's a big difference.
Well, I think there may be in language, I don't think there is in practicality.
I go by language.
Okay, so again, I'm going on record as saying that we had a lot of meetings about that. We
Yep.
had a lot of discussion. We called some of those companies back 2 times. Roberta invested an inordinate amount of time.
Yep.
And we fought for it to be in the budget because we think we need it to do our job.
If you remember correctly, in the budget process, I cut that.
Yep,
You forced me to put it back in.
we sure did, because we thought it was that important to us doing our job.
You're right.
Okay.
That's what you believe.
Okay.
And you believe in greater transparency as well.
I believe that I don't believe as much in it as you do.
Okay, but 1,542 voters did. They approved of that budget.
They didn't line item vote.
So then,
They voted for the whole budget. Now you're twisting it a little bit.
so then the budget itself wasn't, the budget process itself wasn't as transparent as it could be, right?
I have some comments. Yeah, Art's right. The voter does not vote on each individual line item. They vote on the bottom line. But that being said, first of all, I can understand when people that have different responsibilities don't understand the tools that are needed. A plumber doesn't understand why a carpenter needs to have so many saws. And a carpenter doesn't understand why a plumber needs to have many different wrenches. Why can't you just have one adjustable wrench and take care of everything? So I can certainly understand why different positions that do not have the responsibility of the checks and balances and are the numbers people looking at the numbers don't understand the importance. Just like I don't understand why planning and zoning needed that software, which we haven't done yet. But
They're not getting it.
that being said, I look at the program software at $10,000 a year, and I don't understand that either. Basically somebody tells me we need this to do our job, and we approve it. I think it's somewhat disingenuous to blame the removal of the transparency software on the budget situation, since several, selectmen expressed to different people that it was a non-starter before we knew we were going to be cut from 675 up to $1 million something. I do, a lot of work, not only in the budgets, but trying to, when I think back on the things that were in budgets, such as postage and planning and zoning, when we were emailing most things, that, when we understood the underlying things, we get them at the budget time. Munis, we never really see until the next year's budget is prepared what was actually spent the prior year, and then it's only in the broader sense. I do most of my work for Board of Finance on weekends, early in the morning. Okay, town hall's not open. Even if town hall were open, I can't pick up the phone and get a piece of information I want. I can't send an email and get a piece of information I want and need. So I think, in terms of the transparency software, I think one of the side benefits that I saw was that it would give the public access to financial information without them having to FOI or come in. But the real driver of it was the need that we felt not only to see current information, but be able to view the trending over time in terms of what was happening. So I fully understand whose decision it is. I don't understand this Board of Ed using it. I don't see where Board of Ed, that wasn't part of our equation when we were considering it. There are certainly things that software can do from an administrative point of view in terms of activity management and everything that we really didn't get into. And I understand you're going to do what you're going to do, but again, I'm just echoing what everybody else has said in terms of why we felt we needed the software was to be able to get ready access to the information that we thought we feel that we need to do our job. On the comment on...
I haven't said anything about the transparency software yet, so I just wanted to make one comment about that, and I'm directing it at the Board of Selectmen. So in this board, we get a lot of people that come to us and ask us for a lot of things for their department to run effectively. Not always are those things that when we look at them priorities are things that we would necessarily think are needed, but we trust and respect the people that are doing their job, that when they come to us and tell us they need something, that they truly need it. What we're telling you is that as finance professional volunteers that spend a tremendous amount of time looking at numbers, that software system would truly help us do our job. And so as someone who is going to be sitting here for 6 years, I'm asking you to please consider it.
And I just echo that. I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. The finance information, there are so-called gatekeepers that control most of the information in this town. And I think information, financial information, should be easily accessible and available to the public. This is the modern age that we live in, and many towns across this great state have implemented this software to increase transparency. And you can look at anybody and talk to anybody who's implemented it. Transparency increases trust in government at all levels. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda, department report. Stan?
Would you possibly be recognized to respond, please?
Certainly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As a member of the Board of Selectmen, I would be happy to discuss this issue with members of the Board of Finance, not being spoken to, but being spoken with, to have an understanding of the software, its capabilities, its usages, and the proposed benefits for the town. Having had that discussion, I, as one member of the Board of Selectmen, would be able to make a better informed decision. And I'm happy to have that discussion, see that demonstration as we go forward in the process. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, and I agree, that's the way it should have happened. Not simply put on the agenda for tomorrow night without Board of Finance being invited, or even saying, hey, we need more information. And maybe that would have come out tomorrow night. Wasn't the sense I got, from talking to different people, but I appreciate, those comments, because I think that's exactly the way it should come down and it should happen.
And I thank you for the opportunity.
If I could just point out one thing. I appreciate the comments, Stan, except for one thing. We had several demonstrations of the capabilities. And we had several discussions as a board about exactly how valuable they were. All of which I believe members of the Board of Selectmen were here for.
But I
just want to say that it wasn't just, we just came up with this and decided we want it and no one understands why.
Yeah, thinking back, we should have done it different. I mean, we've been working on this for 18 months.
Yeah.
I think Brian came, he was the first one. The one we took was last August. But I think in fairness, there were some board members there, but I know Stan's usually at a competing meeting next door when we meet. And, probably in hindsight, we should have, way back when, we should have had a joint presentation, or at least said, Brian, can you come back and talk to, and I think, when you reflect, and I reflect back, I kind of look and I think, I think we all kind of assumed that, if the Board of Finance thought it was a good idea, it was in the budget, it got approved, that, it was a done deal. And in reflecting back, I can see where we went wrong with it, in terms of the process, that we should have invited, gotten Board of Selectmen involved in the presentations and the discussions early on. But again, thanks, Stan, for your comments.
Thank you.
Department reports, we normally don't